Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. If you're new, my name is Allie Grace and I'm so glad that you found my channel, and I would love it if you would stick around and subscribe. So for today's video, I have my Reading Rush 2020 wrap up, and I am really happy with everything that I read for the Reading Rush this year. I read a total of 6 books and I completed all 7 challenges, and all of the books that I read were really highly rated, so I am really happy about that. I had 4 5-star reads, which is crazy, so I'm really happy about that, and I think that I did really well considering that I still had work and school stuff to do. So yeah, I'm really happy with everything that I read and with the amount that I read. So the first book that I read for the Reading Rush was Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, which I read for the birthstone challenge because my birthstone is ruby and her dress is definitely, it's kind of more burgundy, but it's kind of ruby, and there's this red in the corner, so figured I would count this book for that challenge. So this book is about Noemi, I think is how you pronounce her name, who gets a letter from her cousin who just got married and is living in this mysterious house in the mountains in Mexico. And because of the letter, Noemi's dad wants her to go to the house to check on her cousin and make sure she's doing okay. And so the story really just goes from there. I really enjoyed this book for the most part. I thought that it was super atmospheric and gave me all of the creepy vibes, which was really fun. I really thought that the story was unique, even though I haven't really read a whole lot of horror, so maybe that's why to me it seems really unique. So if you read a lot of horror, let me know if you've read this too, what you thought. But yeah, I thought that the story was really unique and definitely threw some things my way that I did not see coming. And I did also really enjoy Noemi's character because this book takes place in the 50s, which is a time that still really oppressed women, but she kind of pushed back against that and like wanted to get a degree and just kind of like pushed back against racism that some of the characters have and the ways that society tried to stifle women. So I really appreciated that from her too. So I really enjoyed those aspects of it. I did, however, get a little bit bored in a couple of places in the book, which doesn't bother me that much because it was basically just build up for the end, but I did get a little bit bored here and there. And the other thing that contributed to me kind of like docking this a star is that there was a romance in this, and it was just kind of like, it seemed kind of like out of place to me, like it just didn't feel right. And yeah, I didn't really like the romance. It didn't like super bother me, but I was also just kind of like, what's the point of this? But with that being said, I did still give this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a horror book. The next book that I read during the Reading Rush was The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wong, and I've actually already read this before, so this was a reread for me, and I also enjoyed it so much this time around, just as much as the first time, and I'm so glad that I reread this. I'm so glad that I have this so I can reread it all the time, especially during the spring and the summer, which is what it gives me vibes of. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. So this book is about this prince who likes to dress up in dresses, and so he hires this dressmaker because he saw a really unique dress that she made for a different customer at a ball. So he hires her to make dresses for him, and they just really start to become friends. Oh, I forgot to say, I counted this for 2 challenges. The first challenge that I counted this for was read a book that starts with the word the. So it's The Prince and the Dressmaker, so it starts with the. And I also read this for read a book that takes place on a continent different than your own. And this takes place in Paris, which is in Europe, and I live in the United States, which is North America. So yeah. So as I said, I absolutely loved this book the second time around. I really just love the art style for one thing. It's so cute, And I also love Sebastian and Francis because they're just so cute. I love them, and they're themselves, and I really love that about them. And I also love their dynamic together as well, so I really enjoy that. I also really just enjoy the story overall and the messages of the story. Basically just loving people for who they are instead of trying to fit them into a box that you think that they need to be in. So really enjoy this. I highly recommend if you're in the market for a graphic novel. The next book that I read is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, which I read for the first book I Touched challenge. So if you didn't see my TBR, I just like had my computer and I scrolled through my Scribd saved books and just like closed my eyes and touched the screen, and that's the book I read, and it was With the Fire on High. So With the Fire on High is about this girl named Amani, and she is a single mother in high school who loves to cook, and she starts taking this culinary arts class that has an opportunity for her to study abroad in Spain. I'm sorry if you hear the sirens, but basically the book is just about her struggles as a single mother and her journey as a cook. So I'm just gonna wait for this siren. Are you quite done? So I really loved this book as well, and the main reason that I loved it so much is because of Amani. I loved her character so much. I think that she was so good. Like, she was just such a good mom, and I really just loved her personality too. Like, she loves her family so much and her friends, and I love that about her. And she's also kind of just unapologetically herself, so she's not gonna sit here and like have people tell her like how she should be, I guess. So I really love that about her too. But she's also like really kind, and I also really appreciated that whenever she had a problem like with somebody, she would want to talk to them and communicate instead of not, and then having the whole problem in the story being a problem of communication. So that really irritates me. I also really love the love interest / romance in this book because I thought the love interest was so sweet, and he really just respected Amani for who she was and respected her as a mother. So I really liked that about him. And I also liked that the romance, it wasn't like super fast paced or anything like that. So I really enjoyed that too, and they were super cute. And I just gotta say, I listened to this on audiobook, and Elizabeth Acevedo narrated it herself, and that makes the story so good. Like, it's so good, and she knows exactly like how to make you feel what the author intended you to feel because she is the author herself. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and there's really not, like, I don't have anything that I can say about this that I didn't like. So if you couldn't tell, I gave this 5 stars. I also gave The Prince and the Dressmaker 5 stars if I didn't say that, but that's what I originally gave it. So the next book that I read for the reading rush is Lore Olympus, which is a webcomic, and I read this for the challenge of read a book of a genre that you want to read more of, and I would love to read more webcomics, and I would love to read more Greek mythology, so I thought this would be a perfect fit. Sorry if the camera angle is different, somebody just tried to call me and now I'm irritated. I don't remember what I was saying, but I think I was saying that Lore Olympus is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and that's really all there is to say without starting to spoil stuff. So yeah, I would say that there's a trigger warning for sexual assault that happens in one of the episodes, actually after what I read for the reading rush, but the author of the comic has it at the top of the episode that it's on, so before you like read that episode, you would be able to know what episode it's on. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. But I did read 20 episodes of this for the reading rush, and I really enjoyed all of it. I feel like the lighting's just not right now after that person tried to call me. I'm so irritated. So I really enjoyed this one as well. I really liked the art style, of course, and I loved the story as well, which It's kind of vague to say that, but it's really good. I really like how it takes like all of the Greek gods and puts them in a modern setting. So you see them using like cars and phones and stuff like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of it too. Yeah, like the other ones, I don't think there's really much that I can say that I didn't like. And so I didn't actually rate this on Goodreads because it's a webcomic and I haven't finished the whole thing yet, so I haven't rated it officially yet. But for what I read during the reading rush and what I've read after, I've read like another 10-12 episodes since then, I would also give this a 5-star. The next book that I read for the reading rush is Thumbelina. This whole thing is not Thumbelina. This is a fairy tale book that contains Thumbelina, and I read this for the challenge of read a book that you've already seen the movie adaptation for. And I have been obsessed with the movie Thumbelina for a long time, so I thought it would be fitting if I would read Thumbelina for this challenge. So Thumbelina is about a woman who can't have kids, but she really wants a kid. So this witch gives her a flower that when it blooms, it has a little girl inside who is the size of your thumb. And so that's why her name is Thumbelina. And it's basically just about her suitors. I put suitors because they're not really like trying to court her or date her. They're just, you know, trying to steal her and marry her without her consent. But it's a fairy tale, so like, what do we expect? So I really enjoyed getting to read the original fairy tale of the movie that I loved for so long, and it was really whimsical, so I enjoyed that too. But I didn't really enjoy the aspect of it that didn't really like involve consent, even though she did get away from all of those, you know, evil suitors to find her true love. But she literally married her true love like right after she met him, which it's kind of different in the movie, and there's a lot more detail on everything in the movie. So yeah, I do think I like the movie better, but I still enjoyed reading this. I think I would give it 3.5 stars. I think I gave it 4 on Goodreads, but 3.5. And the last book that I read for the Reading Rush 2020 is Snow and Rose by Emily Winfield Martin. And I don't have the dust jacket for this because I got it from Thrift Books, and on the picture it said it was gonna have the cover, but it didn't. I'm kind of upset. So if you just have an extra Snow and Rose dust jacket laying around, hit me up. But I read this for the challenge to read a book outside. I didn't read this like in the actual outdoors, but I did read this with an outdoor ASMR room on my TV and sitting by a window, so it still counts. So this is about Snow and Rose, who are 2 sisters who live in this like rich family, and their dad goes into the woods that are like known for people disappearing, and so he disappears. And so because without him they can't pay for their house, they wind up having to move into those same woods with their mom, and they just get up to like all different kinds of adventures and meet like lots of different friends, and it's super cute and super whimsical. And the illustrations in this book are stunning. I absolutely love this illustration style. It's one of my favorites by far. I also loved Snow and Rose individually, but also together. I thought that they were really good, unique individual characters, but they balanced each other out really well together. So I really enjoyed that. And I love sister stories because I do have a sister, and all their little friends that they made were so cute. So I really enjoyed that too. And this book was also super atmospheric, so it was just like so cozy, and it literally just felt like when I was reading it, like I could just be like snuggled up in my house in the winter with a blanket and my cat and candle and like a cinnamon roll. So yeah, it was super cozy. I really enjoyed that, and I really want to reread this like in the winter. So yeah, I also gave this book 5 stars. So that is everything that I read for the Reading Rush. Like I said before, I am really happy with everything that I read. I really enjoyed myself, and I enjoyed daily vlogging. So if you haven't already, check out those vlogs, you know? So yeah, that is everything for this video. Let me know what your favorite thing that you read in the Reading Rush was, if you participated. If not, let me know what you've been up to. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!